Alright, it has been a week since the second surgery. Obviously my face looks different than it did in the last one. I thought people might want an update, so I would clarify a few things that happened and what it looks like now. So last Monday, that would be August 18th, I went in for the second part of the surgery, which was 3 weeks post first part of the surgery. And he removed the bridge. And one thing I wanted to clarify, which wasn't clear enough in the first video and that I got a bit of feedback from, just with questions, was that the bridge that went from here down to here was not in contact with my nose throughout that process. So it was only attached up here and down here. There was nothing attaching it to my face here. I could stick a Q-tip, and I had to clean it underneath, and I could move it around. It wasn't fixed, and yeah, you could get underneath there if you wanted to. So it wasn't attached, so that's why there's no stitches between my forehead and here. This part is just my nose the way it always has been. So last Monday I went in for my second part of the surgery. They froze. They didn't put me under any general anesthetic or anything like that. They just froze it. But then right after that, as far as I can tell, he took a scissor and just cut the bridge straight through. And then he started the work of patching it up. And he went to the forehead first. And here is something I didn't know that he was going to do, but he cut this U shape first. And then he took the flap that had been turned down and turned it back up and cut the U shape in the flap to put back in that hole. The main reason being that keeps my eyebrows apart. Before, I guess they were pulled together, which Jeanette had noticed, and then he put that back, otherwise they'd be closer together. So now they're back to the correct spacing, and then he stitched that up, and then he went to the nose, and oopsies, it's hard to know which way to turn. He went to the nose and he cut the right shape and then stitched that up. Stitched that up, and it's all been healing for about a week now. I went home with just extra strength Tylenols, and it was painful for a good 24 hours, but it's felt a lot better throughout the other days. Today the stitches were removed, so you can kind of just see how it looks up on both spots. It's still a little messy, but it looks a lot better than it did. They're both swollen. This is quite swollen still, and this is a little swollen, not as much. That will continue to go down, at which point they'll do touch-ups in a couple, well, I'm not exactly sure, a couple weeks or later. I feel good. I've had energy from about 2 days after this second surgery, and yeah, that's about it. Now it should heal on its own, and he'll do a little bit more work, but this is basically the end of it. Thank you for your prayers and support. If you have any questions, let me know.